All right. Hello, everyone. So my name is Nolan Oxley 13. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions, and I'm here today with Hannah Hammond from the Theater Department.
Hi.
She'll be kind of the first in our feature of getting to talk to faculty, hear more about our programs. We have a presentation right here that we'll kind of transition to, and then we'll both, kind of do like a Q&A. But awesome. So what are the classes you're teaching right now, Hannah?
Right now, I am teaching directing two and acting three. Directing two, we were supposed to finish the term with one act plays. The students were directing one acts, and obviously, that's not happening, which is a bummer. So we've kind of had to transition the students to. They're actually going to make like a video presentation of what their play would have looked like. So we'll see some of that on our Facebook and our Instagram, and the acting students are doing the same sort of thing with a play that we were working on in class. They're creating a character video of their characters.
That's awesome because we do the 5 theater productions a year, and the directing two students every other year. They actually get to be like one of the 5 main productions in a
Yep.
sense.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a very cool opportunity for students to showcase their work and their talent as directors. So we have opportunities outside of just being on stage.
Cool. All right. So the theater major right here. So obviously, all students they take courses and like they get a broad-based education in all things theater.
Mhm.
Want to just talk about the general courses they take, and then a little bit about the 2 tracks?
Sure. So all of the theater students take, because we're a BA, you take a broad base of things like stagecraft, technical theater, theater history, acting, dramatic theory and criticism, a lot of play reading, a lot of theater history. You're in the scene shop, building sets. You're doing performance classes. Again, directing is part of that. So you get to experience kind of um, all of the different aspects of theater as part of the core. But then if you want to specialize, you can specialize in performance, so acting and directing, or you can specialize in production. So you could do lighting design, costume design, set design, sound design as part of your track. So you get to specialize which side you want to go. And then we also have a theater minor. So I know you, Nolan, were a theater minor, weren't you?
Yeah.
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 So you have the opportunity to major in something else and then minor in theater, or because the theater major, the credits sort of line up with other majors, you can double major in theater or psychology. We have a theater nursing double major, which is an interesting double major. But yeah, you have lots of opportunities to kind of mix and match and to pair a theater major with other things or to minor in it.
Yeah, and I remember freshman year I just took acting one because I wanted to take a collegiate level, theater course, and then before I knew it, each term I was taking a theater course, and by sophomore year, one of the professors was like, "Would you just like to do a minor?" So, it's nice to pursue the things you're passionate about, along with your main academic major when you're in college, for sure. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, first off, so there's a photo on the right hand side that's from the most recent theater production, correct?
Mhm. Yes, that's the wolves.
Yeah. So what was that show about in general, and what opportunities did it give for actors and behind the scenes and everything?
Sure. So the Wolves is about 10 high school girls on a soccer team. Well, 9 high school girls, and then there's a soccer mom who shows up at the end. And it's just about girls on a soccer team learning about politics and life and loss, and who they are as a whole. And most of these girls are theater majors. A couple of them are English majors. We had, I think there's a speech and hearing major in there. So a broad base of majors on stage. You don't have to be a theater major to be involved, which is really awesome. And we actually had a student had to build a buzz cut wig for the show. So she got credit. She got 1 credit for working on the production, and she combined a long wig. She combined 2 long wigs, and then she buzz cutted the whole thing. So we have lots of opportunities both on stage and off stage that you can actually get credit for. Like I said, she got 1 credit for making a buzz cut wig, which is really great, and that adds to your gen ed, fine arts pillar if you're interested in doing that. So there's lots of opportunities in classes and as in production.
Awesome. And I think these classes are just a good example of, you learn acting. So you learn, I guess, the classic techniques, but
Mhm.
then you also get to do topics. So musical theater. What are some of the other topics in acting that might be for the more advanced students?
Sure. So this semester in Acting 3, which tends to change a topic. I know you said that they did musical theater when you were a student. This term, we were focusing on character development and character analysis. And so the students worked with one play called Silent Sky by Lauren Gunderson. And it's based on a historical woman who was an astronomer who discovered oh gosh, I'm gonna totally like mispronounce this, but siphids, which are like the blinking stars.
Okay.
So the students had to work on character development of a real historical person because all of the characters in the play are real. So they did a lot of character research about these people and who they are and how can we portray them on stage. And it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So then obviously the production courses, you were mainly the performance based professor, and then George DeFalusi is our production professor. But yeah, so what are the courses that every theater major has to take, and then what are some of the advanced options?
So every theater major, like I said, has to take the intro technical courses like intro to stage makeup and costume, intro to sound and lighting, a stagecraft course where you're building sets. I know George, in his advanced classes, we have a production major who was the lighting designer for the Wolves, and she's also working on the sound and lighting design for the one acts, even though they're now a paper project. So she has the opportunity to design those pieces through the advanced classes. Because we are kind of a small major, but that allows her the ability to go on and get a job as a scenic designer, as a lighting designer, as a sound designer, where she wants to focus. So the advanced courses, because we're such a small major, kind of get tailored to your what you're interested in, particularly in the production track. As far as the performance track, again, it's sort of the same thing. I asked the students what they were interested in working on in acting, and they really wanted to do character development. So that's what we focused on.
Cool. And then I guess just shout out over there to Scott McGuire. He's our technical director and all things. He designs the sets and he helps admissions out with events. He's been here for a long time. He's an awesome guy. So
yeah, he runs
we had to include him. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And then so here's one of our main theater. So what are the productions that were happening this year and there, and overall seating in there and everything? Yeah.
Sure. So Gibson Theatre is the main stage. It's a proscenium theater. I am new here, so I can't tell you how many people it seats, but it seats a big amount, a large amount. It's our main performance space. And this year we had a new play, Soldier Poet, that was in there. We had The Wolves, our musical, Charlie Brown, Your Good Man Charlie Brown, may be in there, depending on what happens with term 3.
Sure.
And so that's kind of our main performance space. It seats a whole mess of people. It's a really great space. I enjoyed working in there as my first show.
And of course, purple and gold seats, everything's purple and gold. So Elmira has that attention to detail. So you get used to, when you're rehearsing, just staring out into the sea of purple, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Watson Arena. So this is a black box theater, correct?
Yes. Yeah. It's a flexible space. And it's small. It's very intimate. We did our George, our technical professor, is Hungarian, and he translated a bunch of Hungarian plays from when before the Iron Curtain fell, or after. I'm not up on that history, but he translated a bunch of one acts, and so this year those were in the Watson Arena. Our student directed one acts were going to be in Watson as well, and so it's just a small space. It's flexible. We can do thrust. We can do in the round. We can do, I think, with the Hungarian one acts, they were sort of in a corner, and so it was sort of a diagonal space. It was very cool. It's very flexible, and it's a really interesting place to work as a designer or an actor.
Cool. All right, so I kind of came up with the top 5 most frequently asked questions of our prospective theater students. So I guess we'll just dive right in. So, question one: can I be involved in EC's theater program if I am not a major or minor? You kind of
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We welcome everyone. We love having other students because it's theater. We're telling everyone's stories. So if you are a bio major, you might have some insight that we don't know about because we're so into theater, you know? So coming and getting to share your experience with your passion with us is really always a benefit. And I love working with students who aren't theater majors because it expands my knowledge.
Yeah. So, and then how many theater productions a year on average?
On average, 3 to 5, depending. We're looking at the season. I'm new here, so things are shifting. But typically it's 3 to 5, somewhere in there. A musical always happens in term 3, and we do 2 Watson Arena productions and then 2 or 3 main stage productions with the musical.
Cool. So, like, I remember in high school, juniors or seniors typically were the ones that got cast, and freshmen and sophomore, they kind of like had to pay their, you wait until they could get that leading role. Do freshmen get opportunities here?
Absolutely, absolutely. We had a freshman stage manager on our first show. We had a freshman who built our buzz cut wig for the Wolves. Several freshmen were cast in shows in the Wolves and other shows that happened this year, backstage, on stage. Everybody is included. It doesn't matter where you fall in the year of your college experience.
Right. So if you're the right person for the role or for the assignment, you
Absolutely.
get that opportunity. Cool.
Absolutely.
So this is kind of I guess a question more just if you could create your dream slate of production, what would you like to do in the future? Like, what would you love to bring to the Elmira stage?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. We read a play this year in a couple of classes that I taught called Stop Kiss, which is about a couple of girls in the early 2000s who kind of are learning who they are and being in New York City. And a lot of the students really enjoyed that. So I'd love to put that on the stage. I'm interested in doing a lot of kind of weird, like off the beaten path stuff. I love musical theater. And there's a musical called Lizzie, which is about Lizzie Borden. And it's women
cool.
like squelching their faces off, and they're like, there's like blood and guts, and it's very cool. So I would love to do something like that. And yeah, and I'm really interested in, there's a Chekhov play that was translated by Sarah Rule, who's a great female playwright, that I would love to do as well.
Cool. So maybe next year down the road, based on that year's, talent and what you think would be best.
Yeah,
it'd be cool
absolutely.
to see them. Yeah. And so what advice would you give to a student on the fence about pursuing theater in college?
Gosh, I would say take a look at who the professors are. Do you connect with them? Are you excited about shows that they're doing? Do they create opportunities for students to go work outside of theater? Are they accepting of students who aren't theater majors? Do they let you come audition? I know a lot of big schools don't necessarily allow that. The benefit of Elmira is that we're small, and even if you're not a theater major, you can come do theater. But yeah, are they doing productions that excite you? Do they do musicals because you love musicals? Ask a lot of questions. And I think it's a lot about connection and who you connect with. And if you think that those people are going to give you the experience that you want.
Yeah. And I just came up with one. So, like, we're a small liberal arts college in upstate New York. And a lot of students, when they're thinking theater, they're like, I got to go to Tisch. I got to go to New York City. Why should you start your theater, degree and everything at a smaller college than one of those like big name acting schools?
Sure. I think the benefit of a small school is that you get a lot of personal attention. I know who my students are. They come and sit in I have been at Elmira for like almost 9 months, I think. This is my first year, and I have students constantly I had students constantly in my office, talking to me about who they are, about their life, about what's going on. My smallest class is three people, and my largest class has been 5. So it's like, it's really, you get a lot of information, and you get a lot of connection. And I think the professors really care about you because you have that personal relationship. And also because it's theater, we're talking about stories, we're talking about our lives. So you make these connections, and oftentimes that can shepherd you into a bigger opportunity. I have a student who loves deaf theater, and I have a friend who's working on a piece in New York City. She needed to do an internship, and so we hooked them up. And now this student who's interested in deaf theater has an internship working on deaf theater. So it's those connections.
Was that the student who's interested, who's a speech pathology major as well?
No, she's a psych and theater major, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously contact us with questions.
Yeah.
You know, Hannah is the expert in all things theater, but, you know, well, like we were saying, you can pursue your passions. About, I would say 1/3 of our students are double majors.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think a lot of times you're like, okay, I did theater in high school. I love theater, but I gotta focus on psychology now. But no, it's really great that you can marry the two together, and, you know, because you want to be in those theater rehearsals and meet
Yeah.
that community that you were talking about. So,
Yeah.
and then obviously this video, hopefully, you know, we didn't look like we were mean mugging you guys throughout the whole thing, or, you know, but obviously meeting in person is the ideal thing. So we can't wait to see you on campus soon. And yeah, any other final words, Hannah?
No, I just that like I am always open to talk if you have any questions. And theater is about connection, it's about people, it's about telling stories, it's about learning who you are. And so I think it pairs really well with other majors, and it's just a great opportunity to express yourself and express who you are.
Awesome. Great final words. Well, we will see you guys on campus soon. So take care.
Bye.